Alright guys, so welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well today. Of course, for today's video, I want to give you guys an update what's happening with Bitcoin. So real quick, we saw yesterday that Bitcoin was actually pumping, and not just Bitcoin, but also altcoins. A fair few altcoins yesterday was in fact pumping as well, and we actually saw Bitcoin pump, right, a fair bit. It pumped all the way up to around $28,000, all the way up to around 28,400. But today, you guys clearly see we are in fact in the 4 hour time frame, and Bitcoin for the past few hours is in fact having a slow pullback, right? So right now, Bitcoin's holding at 27,500. So it is in fact having, a slight drop right now. Nothing too crazy though. In my opinion, it's still holding pretty strong. And the crypto market right now is looking like everything's sort of dropping, right? Overall, the market today is down 1.9%, almost 2%. So for the past 24 hours, Bitcoin is slightly dropping 1.5%. Ethereum is dropping as well 3.7%. And yes, a fair few altcoins are in fact, slowly dropping down to the downside, but nothing too crazy. Chainlink today, though, is dropping significantly. Okay, having a decent drop, 6.7%. So Chainlink is dropping. We know Chainlink for the past few days, for the past week, has in fact been pumping. So I guess it's understandable why Chainlink is dropping pretty heavily for the past 24 hours. But yeah, you guys clearly see for the past 24 hours, a fair few altcoins are in fact dropping today. But in my opinion, everything is still holding pretty strong. So in today's video, you guys can read by the title, what I really wanted to talk about is Bitcoin gearing up for a massive bull run. We know, okay, we are in fact about to enter the next bull market, and Bitcoin is in fact about to have a massive bull run. And there is in fact, of course, a fair few charts that I do in fact want to talk about and show you guys, indicating that yes, we will in fact see Bitcoin very, very soon in the next upcoming few years. Of course, I'm talking, 2024, and of course, especially 2025, that we will in fact see Bitcoin gearing up for a massive bull run, right? So let's start off with this chart. So short term, let's talk short term real quick for Bitcoin. Okay, once Bitcoin breaks $30,000, the real bull market starts. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys agree or disagree. Personally, I think in the next upcoming few months, we will, see Bitcoin, okay, pump back up to $30,000, and of course break that resistance line of around $31,000. And once we break it, we actually see Bitcoin pump all the way back up to around 32K and surpass 32K. I think that's when we're going to see, another high. And there is in fact another chart that I want to show you guys later in this video. But yes, okay, we're going to see Bitcoin reach 30K, right? And who knows, right? Once it reaches, 35 to 40, it's going to obviously have more retests back down to the downside. But on that, it's all up from here, right? It really, really is. So for all the people that are in fact saying, we're going to see Bitcoin go back down below 20K, think again, right? Very, very unlikely to happen, especially during this time right now, right? We know the halving is about to happen for Bitcoin, and we know every single time we have the halving for Bitcoin, that's where Bitcoin tends to pump the most. So if you really think about it, what can cause Bitcoin to drop back down below $20,000? Because I feel like a lot of people are still predicting that we will in fact see Bitcoin below 20K, short term. But personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's all ups from here, right? So just think about that. Now, here's another pretty interesting chart. Seems like every major upside move this year has begun on a Sunday, right? And it's actually, potentially true, right? So you guys clearly see Sunday, 8th of January, beginning of this year in 2023, we saw Bitcoin pump 42%. And then Sunday, the 12th of March, we actually saw it pump 53%, right? And then Sunday, 18th of June, we saw it pump 21%, okay, a decent pump. And of course, Sunday, 1st of October, okay, will we see Bitcoin pump, right? And remember, guys, it's October, so it's obviously a very bullish month for Bitcoin, because we know October, usually that's where Bitcoin does, perform pretty well. Right, so I've told you guys many times in my previous videos, I'm expecting this month to be a pretty decent month for Bitcoin and crypto, right? I do in fact see, Bitcoin pumping in the next, maybe few weeks, sometime in October, I do in fact see Bitcoin having a decent pump. And I told you guys, we might actually see a 30k Bitcoin very, very soon. Okay, I might stick with that. So also, here's another chart that I really wanted to show you guys. Okay, Bitcoin is obviously forming this pattern and the structure, forming a high, and then a low, and then a high, and then a lower high, and then, right, potentially this month of October, we will see Bitcoin pump creating another higher high, right? And that's why I've been telling you guys, once we actually do see Bitcoin break that 31,500 level, right, that resistance line, it's going to continue up from there. So potentially we're going to see Bitcoin pump to like 34 to 35 to maybe even 38 to maybe even close to 40k or even reach 40k. I think that is very, very possible. We will see. Okay, we will see, but all we know is potentially we're going to see Bitcoin create another high. So that's that, right? Be ready for that. Now, Bitcoin, it seems like it's going through a period of consolidation similar to what happened in 2016, right? So if we look back in 2016, the bottom area right here, you guys can see it was in fact, moving sideways for quite a bit, and then it had a massive pump up to the upside. And that's exactly what Bitcoin is doing right now, right? Literally right now, it's moving on its side. It's not really moving, but potentially a massive pump is coming, and I really do believe that's going to happen very, very soon. Okay, so be prepared for that. Now, Bitcoin in 2020 versus 2023, where we are right now, very, very similar. Okay, I've been telling this many times, history does sort of repeat itself for Bitcoin, right? It rhymes, okay, over time. And you guys clearly see it does look like, okay, the patterns here from, what we saw in 2020 to where we are now is slowly, forming the same way. So we had the COVID crash, of course, in 2020. Okay, and that's when Bitcoin was absolutely dropping. The crypto market was just dropping like heavily, right? Who remembers? And then we saw it slowly recover up to the upside. Okay, and then of course we had the halving and whatnot, and then that's when Bitcoin just had the bull run, and we know what happened in 2021. Now, if we look at where we were a couple months ago, the FTX crash back in November 2022, we saw it drop. Okay, not a good day. We saw Bitcoin dropping. We saw a lot of altcoins dropping as well. There was a lot of FUD. That's when the crypto market was just absolutely collapsing. Okay, and then of course we know early 2023, throughout 2023 this year, we have in fact been seeing Bitcoin slowly recovering up to the upside. This is where we are right now. So it's sort of similar what happened in 2020, right? So understand, guys, a massive run is coming for Bitcoin. Clearly, you guys can clearly just see there is in fact, a similar pattern right now forming for Bitcoin, what happened in 2020 and what's happening right now for 2023, right? You guys can just clearly see that. So it's all ups from here. Okay, it really, really is. And this chart just shows you guys how undervalued Bitcoin really, really is. So obviously, the red structure, the pink structure, whatever you want to call it, whatever color that is pink, obviously. I'm not colorblind, but that's overvalued. And then the green area is undervalued. So right now, Bitcoin is clearly undervalued. And I've been telling us many times, right? Bitcoin right now is still nowhere near back up to its previous all-time high. So right now is still a great time to buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Okay, we are still in the buy zone. Okay, we're still in the accumulation phase. It's still undervalued. It's still a bargain. So right now is the perfect time to buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can, right? And I've been buying a whole bunch of Bitcoin, and I know you guys, hopefully, finger crossed, are buying into Bitcoin as well, right? You guys are slowly DCAing into Bitcoin because it's undervalued. And I'm telling us right now, once the next bull run does in fact happen, because we know Bitcoin is gearing up for the next bull run, right? We're no longer going to see Bitcoin below 30K ever again, where it is right now, right? So just think about that. Okay, so don't miss this once in a lifetime opportunity to get into Bitcoin while it's still cheap, right? While it's still a bargain and while it's still undervalued. Okay, so that's that. So yes, I showed you guys a similar chart, okay, just like this one from yesterday's video, but you guys clearly see the halving is in fact about to happen, and every single time we have the halving for Bitcoin, this is where Bitcoin tends to pump the most, and this is when we enter the next bull cycle, the next bull market, right? And that's when we see Bitcoin pretty much have the next bull run. So the halving is about to happen next year, April in 2024. Very, very exciting times. And I know you guys are in fact excited as well for this to happen. And of course, we know, right? If Bitcoin's going to have the halving, that means alt season is about to happen as well. Meaning we're going to see a lot of altcoins, potentially, most likely your favorite altcoins, pump like crazy. Because you guys understand the next bull market, we're not just going to see Bitcoin skyrocket. Altcoins are going to also skyrocket as well with Bitcoin, right? So be ready for that, guys. So the future for crypto is looking really, really bright, right? It really, really is. So that's that. Be prepared, guys, okay? Because we're about to see a massive pump for Bitcoin really, really soon, especially in the year 2025. Okay, so be ready for that. Now, to end off this video, okay, I know I talk about this a fair few times, you know, the Bitcoin monthly returns. It's October. Okay, when you saw the 1st of October, Bitcoin was already pumping, right, like pretty decently. So far we have a return of 2.1%. Before, I think like it was like a few hours ago, it was around 3%, right? But since Bitcoin is in fact having the slight drop right now, okay, you guys clearly see that. Obviously we're gonna see the Bitcoin monthly returns for this month slightly drop. So right now it's at 2%, which is still decently pretty good. And like I said many times, okay, I know Bitcoin this month, potentially in the next upcoming few days and few weeks, right, it's going to perform very, very well, because we know October, you guys clearly see that, right? October, Bitcoin does perform very, very well. Like this is literally Bitcoin's month right now. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to pump pretty decently. I'm expecting Bitcoin to perform very, very well for this month and the next upcoming few weeks, right? So that's that. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Bitcoin right now, okay, it is in fact having a slight drop, but nothing too crazy. Okay, it's still holding very, very strong at this level of 27k, just below 28k. So it's still holding strong. Altcoins today are still holding strong as well. So obviously keep you guys updated what's going to happen with Bitcoin and crypto. So stay tuned for that. But on that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.